Procrastination just cost me $500,000, and I'm only 24 years old. Let me explain. Back in college, a friend of mine mentioned he was contributing to something called a Roth IRA. I half listened, nodded along, and completely forgot about it. Now, fast forward a few years, and while I'm doing a deep dive into getting my own finances in order, I rediscovered the Roth IRA. Only this time, I actually did the research, and what I found genuinely shocked me. I opened one almost immediately, and I was kicking myself for not doing it sooner, because that procrastination and those 4 years I wasted cost me roughly $500,000 in potential retirement wealth. $500,000 gone because I didn't take action sooner. If you're watching this, don't make the same mistake I did. So what exactly is a Roth IRA, and why is it so powerful? A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that allows your money to grow completely tax-free. Here's what that means in practice. When you contribute money to a Roth IRA, you're putting dollars in that have already been taxed, your normal take-home pay. From that point forward, every dollar of growth, every return that account generates is yours, tax-free. And when you turn 59 and a half, you can withdraw everything, your contributions and every dollar of growth, with zero taxes and no questions asked. This is what separates the Roth IRA from almost every other investment account. A personal brokerage account, you'll pay capital gains tax on your returns. A traditional 401k, you'll pay income taxes when you withdraw. Some retirement accounts even force you to take out a required minimum distribution, meaning the government tells you when and how much you have to withdraw, whether you want to or not. The Roth IRA has none of that. No forced withdrawals, no taxes on growth. It's one of the most flexible and powerful accounts that exists, and most people are sleeping on it. Now, I want to show you the exact thing that made me open a Roth IRA immediately. I'm going to pull up the compound interest calculator at investor.gov and show it on screen right here. This is a free tool from the US government, and what it showed me genuinely changed how I think about money. I plugged in $7,500, the annual contribution limit, at an 8% average annual return over 35 years. If you don't know what any of this means, that's okay. I'll explain it in a second, but just focus on the graph for right now. And here's what came back. Approximately $1.4 million. That's right, over $1 million from consistently contributing to one account. And look at the curve on the graph. It's not linear, it's exponential. The longer your money stays in the market, the faster it grows. That's the power of compound interest, and time is the most important variable in that equation. This is exactly why those 4 years I left on the table hurt so much, because early years are worth more than later years. The money you put in your 20s is worth dramatically more than the money you put in when you're at 30. Every year you wait is not just 1 year of growth you're missing. It's decades of compounding on that year's contribution that you'll never get back. Now, I want you to run your own numbers, and here's how. Take 59 and subtract your current age. That's how many years your money has to compound before you can access it penalty-free. If you're 24 like me, that's 35 years in the market. If you're 20, that's 39 years. If you're 30, that's 29 years. So whatever that number is, plug it into the calculator. And for the rate of return, use somewhere between 7 to 10%. Why that range? Because historically, the S&P 500, which is essentially a basket of the 500 largest companies in America, has averaged roughly 7 to 10% in annual returns over its entire history. 7% will give you the conservative projection, while 10% will give you the optimistic one. The truth will likely land somewhere in between those two. I'm serious. Pull out your phone or open another tab on your computer and run the numbers for yourself. Whatever the calculator spits out, that's your number. That is what's waiting for you at the end of consistent contributions and time in the market. And I know for me personally, seeing this number drastically changed how I viewed money. And it made me want to allocate at least some, if not more than I should, into the market. because I saw the potential of how $1 invested today could grow 10x in the future. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. $7,500 a year sounds like a lot. And honestly, I get it. When I finally opened my Roth IRA this past February, I was lucky enough to max it out in one lump sum because I had savings sitting around that I didn't know what to do with at the time. I put my money to work, and maxing it out felt incredible. For the first time, I felt like I was finally on the right path, taking real actionable steps toward my future. But I want to be real with you. Not everyone can drop $7,500 all at once, and that's completely okay. So let's break it down. $7,500 a year is $625 a month. $625 a month is $312.50 every 2 weeks. That's 2 tanks of gas, a few dinners out. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Start where you are, contribute what you can, and start building that habit. Now, before we go any further, I need to talk about the mistakes I see people making with their Roth IRAs, because opening the account is only half the battle. Let's talk about mistake number 1, funding the account, but not actually investing the money. This one shocked me when I first came across it. I was doing research online and I kept seeing story after story of people on Reddit and finance forums who had been contributing to their Roth IRA for years, thinking they were doing the right thing. But their money was just sitting there, not invested, not growing, just existing in the account like a savings account. A Roth IRA is not a savings account. It's an investment account. When you deposit money into your Roth IRA, you need to actually invest it in index funds, ETFs, or other assets. The account itself does nothing. The investments inside the account are what generate the growth, and the tax advantages are why this account is so powerful. Don't be the person who does everything right and still misses out because of this one step. Now let's talk about mistake number 2, not knowing about the prior year contribution window. This one is personal, and I'm still in the process of taking advantage of it myself. Here's something most people don't know. When you open a Roth IRA for the first time, you can contribute to your Roth IRA for the previous tax year up until April 15th, tax day. So right now, if you haven't maxed out last year's contribution, you still can. When I maxed out my Roth IRA this February, I contributed all my money to the current year. I had no idea I could have applied it to the previous year instead. Now, why does this matter? The Roth IRA is a wealth building cheat code. It's so powerful, in fact, that the government has to impose a contribution limit. That means you can only invest a certain amount of dollars before they cut you off for the year. The account is just too powerful, and they want to stop you from taking advantage of all of that sweet, sweet compound interest. The 2025 contribution limit was $7,000, and the 2026 limit is $7,500. If I can reclassify my contributions to 2025, then I can make a fresh $7,500 contribution limit for 2026. That's $14,500 invested in a single year, even though I just opened the account. I'm literally in the process of doing this right now, so if you're in a similar situation, look into this before April 15th because it could be a game changer, and you could essentially double the amount you can invest in a year. So while we're talking about these limits, let's talk about the limitations and rules of a Roth IRA. So, a quick housekeeping on the rules. In 2026, the contribution limit is $7,500 per year. If you're a single filer earning over $150,000, your ability to contribute begins to phase out, and above $165,000, you become ineligible to contribute directly. If you're above that threshold, look into the backdoor Roth IRA method, a completely legal strategy that lets higher income earners still take advantage of this account. And to open one, go with reputable sources like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard. These are all trusted beginner-friendly platforms with zero minimums. I personally use Fidelity because my 401k and individual brokerage are all tied into one platform, so it makes it really easy to track all my investments in one spot. Pick one and get it started today. Now, before I close out, I want to give you a reality check. This video is not meant to make you feel like you're out of time. I'm 24 years old, and even accounting for those 4 years I left on the table, I'm still looking at over $1 million in retirement wealth if I stay consistent. No matter what age you are watching this, whether you're 18, 24, 30, or beyond, the best time to start investing was yesterday, but the second best time to start is today. Not because you're behind, but because future you will look back on this moment and be grateful you took action. If I could go back and show 18-year-old me that compound interest graph, I wouldn't even have to say a word. The numbers would speak for themselves. The formula is simple. Consistent contributions plus time in the market equals a future you actually want to live. You don't need to max it out on day one. You just need to start. $312.50 every 2 weeks. That's it. That's the move. So do what I couldn't do at 18 and start today. If you haven't already, check out my last video on the high yield savings account, the financial foundation you want in place before you start investing. And I'll have that linked right here. And make sure to subscribe because the next video is going to cover the 401k and the free money your employer is likely offering you right now that you might be leaving on the table. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.